Josh Hennick here, Sports Bash Saturday here on 97.3 ESPN. Pretty excited for tonight's UFC Fight Night, which is tonight Holm versus Shevchenko. It's live in Chicago tonight on Fox at 8 p.m. tonight. And the co-main event features the former Strikeforce champion. In fact, he held the belt until Strikeforce no longer existed anymore. It is Gilbert Melendez. He's fighting Edson Barbosa tonight. Gil, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just ready to go.
So you're fighting a guy who is pretty much known for not going to decisions. You've been in a lot of wars over the years, whether it was Josh Thompson, whether it was the Diego Sanchez fight. But this is a guy in Barbosa who he either finishes fights or he gets finished. So what is your mentality going into this fight?
Well, my mentality is this is a very dynamic, dangerous fighter, so I have to be very, very careful, but also very aggressive, and make sure I dictate the pace and I control this fight. So, I know it's a big fight and but it's like any other fight. You know what I mean? Everyone's out there trying to knock each other's head off. But the higher the competition, the tougher it gets to do it.
What is your mentality going in on fight night? I mean, today is the fight. You're getting ready. What is the typical day of the fight for a fighter like you?
Well, just kind of resting the mind, trying to stay calm, calm before the storm. And, and then when it's fight night, it's just, a lot of emotions. But as soon as the bell rings, it's go time.
Part of your background is in wrestling and grappling, but you also have a very good boxing as well. Talk about how your strengths can counteract Edson Barbosa's striking tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like this is mixed martial arts, and what I do really well is transitions, and that's mixing everything together with the wrestling and the striking, and that's going to be very important tonight, and expect to see a lot of that.
Gil, you fought some of the biggest names in MMA. You fought numerous guys who've either held belts in different organizations, whether it's in Dream, the former Bellator lightweight champion. You fought the UFC lightweight champions. Looking back on your career, you are a guy who's fought in some of the biggest fights on the biggest stages. What has your career meant to you up at this point?
It's been great, man. It's been a great ride, and I've reached a lot of goals, so you kind of have to reinvent your new goals, and today is payday, today is payday. And, and at this time, I still have a lot of respect for myself, and there's no way even though, I've fought so many times, there's no way I can't show up ready. You know what I mean? This is what I do, and this is what I've been working for my whole life. I have too much self-respect not to show up prepared. So, but I'm very proud of my career and what I've done.
You're one of the few fighters who has actually had over 5 fights in his career with over 5 rounds scheduled. Talk about the preparation for a guy when he has to fight. Obviously, tonight is only going to be scheduled for 3 rounds, but you fought so many times in 5-round fights. Talk about the mentality having to do a 5-round fight versus a 3-round fight.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. The 15-minute round is more of a sprint. There's no way you can sprint to 25 minutes, so it's just a different pace. But it's a tough thing. It's tough on the body. You got to think about every 2 25-minute round fights is 3 regular MMA fights.
Does it bother you at all that you're currently not in the UFC's rankings? Obviously, other organizations, other media outlets have you as a ranked top lightweight in the world, but the UFC rankings don't have you officially ranked. Does that bother you at all? Does that put a chip on your shoulder?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't let anything that bother me. I don't even look at the rankings. It's just I just don't. I'm just happy I get a fight. I'm happy I get to be in here tonight and go do my thing.
Let's talk a little bit about your background. You're a California guy. You've trained for years with the Diaz brothers under Gracie. Talk about how working with those guys and also Jake Shields has kind of molded your career, because you all come from different backgrounds.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's the fight gods were good. For some reason, they put us all together in the same room at the Cesar Gracie fight team. And, Jake's been my big brother, and he's the one who dragged me in. And, Nate Diaz is, Nick's little brother. And together, we've all came up together. And it's been a privilege to be part of that group, and we all complement each other when it comes to fighting styles. So, it's been good.
If you can mention about the Diaz brothers as well, these are guys who have been in some of the biggest fights, and Nate is now going up against Conor McGregor for the 2nd time next month. What is their mentality going into a fight versus what they're like not going into a fight?
Their mentality going into this fight, when they go into a fight, they're in a zone. You know what I mean? They're ready to take someone out. But but when they're not, they're a good time, man. We enjoy training. Training is fun. You know, it's just a certain mindset you have to get into when it's fight time.
Gil, if you don't mind me asking, there's been a lot of talk in MMA about, with the UFC getting sold, with the fact that, the UFC 200 event got basically derailed in some ways by different PED tests. Do you think MMA today is in a better place than it was, though, years ago? Because I feel like as a fan, as a member of the media, MMA has come so far that it's now considered a mainstream sport. And to me, despite the fact that UFC 200 got, shuffled around and got a little messy, that these things are going to be best for the sport in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's growing pains for the sport, and I think ultimately there's a bunch of good intentions there, and it'll be good. I still think we struggle to be completely mainstream. I don't think we get treated like professional football players, professional baseball players quite yet, and but I think those days will come. But I think it's definitely on the verge of heading for the best.
All right, a couple quick questions for you before I let you go and fight tonight. A couple personal questions. People get to know you a little bit better, you know what I mean? So tell people, what is Gil Melendez like outside of the octagon?
You know what? I'm a family man. I'm a gym owner. I train for fun is what I do. The pressure of training for a fight is a fight. But, I live in the Bay Area, San Francisco out there. And, I enjoy spending time with my friends and family. And, I'm real chill. I'm real chillaxed. And we just relax and enjoy the Bay and stuff, and that's it, really.
If you were not an MMA fighter, what do you think you'd be doing professionally?
Interesting. Well, initially I wanted to be a teacher and coach high school wrestling, because that's what I did in high school. I wrestled, so, definitely something active, something definitely with the community and, and something where I can play all day, you know what I mean, and have fun. So,
nice.
Definitely.
Love that. And final little personal side question here. You have lived in that whole Bay Area forever. Would you ever want to live anywhere else?
Well, I grew up in Santa Ana, Southern California, and then I moved to the Bay in 2000. And you know what? The only way I'd move is if, my community moved with me. You know what I mean? It's what makes the Bay so beautiful and great is just all the people I've met and all the connections I've made out there, having, meeting Nick and Nate out there, meeting Jake Shields out there, opening up my gym out there and meeting so many people. So, that would be the only way I'd leave if my whole team said, hey, get up, we're moving, and it better be to Hawaii.
Nice. All right. I know you got to get ready for the fight tonight. One last time, tonight you are the co-main event against Edson Barbosa, part of the Holm versus Shevchenko fight tonight on Fox. For those who may have never seen you fight before, tell them why they should tune in tonight and see you fight.
Yeah, well, if you tune in and watch me fight, I guarantee fireworks. Can never guarantee victory, but I guarantee you'll see me putting my heart out there. I'm not a chump. I fight with heart. Go look at my fight versus Diego Sanchez. Go look at my fight against Kawajiri. Go look at all my fights. I put it all out there. So go take a look at that.
Definitely encourage it. Gil, I've been watching you for years and enjoyed your time in Strikeforce and looking forward to seeing you fight tonight.
Thank you very much.